Hey there, good morning on this Sunday morning before church. We're going to have some cup of coffee. Welcome back to Hillbilly, Hippie, Honeybees, and I'm Clint Baker. And yesterday I threw out a little short there on good news and bad news. And yes, I told you the good news yesterday that my second Lyme's disease test come back negative, so we caught that early. But here's the bad news. So the bad news is, and we always said here on this channel that we would share the good, the bad, and the ugly with you, all right? And so we know, as you know, fourth generation beekeepers, that there are a lot of beekeepers out there, especially new beekeepers. They get very discouraged whenever they start losing bees, and that's usually when we start seeing them stop beekeeping. Well, we wanted to tell you today what we found, or actually David found. I wasn't able to go out with him yesterday and inspect a couple of our outyards, and because we were getting a new roof put on our house, but he did, and he found some pretty devastating things that happened. All right, so the first Beeyard he went to, everything was pretty good. One loss. All right, gets to the second Beeyard, and I get a phone call, and I could hear he was discouraged. And why was he discouraged? We had 9 colonies in that Beeyard, and all 9 of them were gone. So that shows you, no matter your experience, you're going to have some downside to things. So if you'll watch the rest of this video, he's going to show you all of this, and he's going to explain some things. And then at the very end of this video, I will go over what the conclusions are, because he didn't have time for that. He ran out of video room. So please stay tuned, join along, and please like and subscribe to our channel so that we can continue to bring you good content like this. So here are the facts about going into fall and winter of last year with this particular outyard. It's a brand new outyard for us. We moved there because it was so plentiful of sources for the bees. Everything, we had red maple, there's sourwood out there, there is goldenrod, there's ester. I mean, there is everything in the world out there. And maybe that's why. Maybe we didn't pay as much attention to it towards the end of the season as far as how much stores that were in there. And I'll talk about that more at the end of the video. But we moved there late summer. Going into early winter, we did a mite count and mite treatment. Our mite counts were right around 3%, so it shouldn't have been that, right? Stores were really good in the late fall, but they weren't real, I don't know, they weren't real overflowing. She had plenty of room to lay and all that. So as you watch this and you see what David is talking about, give us your opinion down below on what you think. We've talked to our state apiarist, we've talked to other fellow beekeepers, and you know, some people have seen this before. It's not very common, but you'll see what we're talking about when they were pollen bound and whenever they were honey bound. So as we go through this, just keep an open mind, take some notes, and then I'll give a conclusion at the end again, and we'll see what we got going on here.
All right, I'm gonna walk down through here, and as you can see, my hive tool is on this one here, and that's the last one I went through. And if you'll take a look real close, we got bees going in and out of this one, of the next one, and the next one. And what it is we've lost every one of these hives. Every one of them. I went through, there was plenty of stores in it. We treated heavily for mites. Going into fall, everything looked really good. up until today when I come up to check them for the first time and put some feed and fondant on them and some pollen, and broke into every one of them. And there was plenty of stores. Now some of them have got some wax moths in them. Yeah, very, very disheartening. But as you can tell, our loss percentage every year has been 20% or less for the last 5 years. And this year it is catching up to us. We thought we had these in really good shape. We knew we had them in really good shape. In fact, the guy that owns the property, Junior, he has been coming up here, you know, off and on when it's not been so cold he couldn't get out, and checking them out. And they've looked good. He would send us videos, you know, on days that we couldn't get up here when they would be out, you know, doing their cleansing flights and stuff. But I have popped every one of these, and there is a lot of honey in the top and nothing in them as far as a colony goes. All these bees you see here now flying in and out are robber bees from somewhere. But you know, if you take a look at them and you didn't get in them to actually see, you'd think, boy, those are some healthy hives. But that's what we're looking at, and yeah, it is disheartening. But you know what? We've got other yards that we can, you know, put this one back together and make some honey out here this year. I'm getting ready to go through and just kind of see if I can find anything, any reason behind it. You know, if they absconded or, you know. I know they didn't starve to death because there are plenty stores. I did see that. So, anyway, I will shut this down for now, and if I find something, I will come back to you in just a little bit. All right, guys. Well, that's what happens. I mean, you know, you got good years, you got bad years, and well, this one got us. All right. So I got down the bottom of the one that we were looking at earlier. A whole bunch of stores up on top, honey, you know. But in just about every frame down here, there is either pollen or honey in. So, I'm not sure what all that means. They may have absconded because they didn't have any place to nest. They may have just tried to ride it out. But in every frame, you can see all the pollen down in here. And every frame is like that. So she really didn't have any place to lay late in the fall. So that might have been our fault. Don't know. I'm just trying to reason through this. So, if I come across anything else, I will definitely start videoing it. And we got a few coming in here and robbing right now. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you in a little bit.
Okay, so after the inspection that David did and watching that part, here are the facts we know, okay? We know that they were honey bound and pollen bound. We know that, all right? What does that do? That gives the queen nowhere to lay, okay? We also know that there was no sign of a dead queen in there. He looked through all of them very well. There were very few dead bees. Matter of fact, there were 3 colonies that had a lot of mold on them, which suggests that these probably absconded late fall, early winter, likely right after we did our last inspection. So we're pretty sure that those absconded just by the looks of those. All right. Again, there were very few dead bees in these boxes. David said when he walked up to them, he really thought that every one of them had bees in them. Why? Because there was so much traffic in and out until he got closer, and he said he realized that these were all robber bees. So obviously there is another Beeyard local in that area, or there's a lot of bee trees in that area, feral bees, or maybe some of ours absconded and they're in someplace else and they're collecting it back. Either way, all 9 colonies were empty. No queens, no. There were like 2 or 3 said that had maybe a fist-like, and I've got small hands, a fist-like cluster in there. He said it almost looked like maybe those were the ones that were out doing defecation flight. The rest absconded or left, and then those came back and didn't know where to go and froze to death in there. All right. Again, let's see. That was pretty much the what he saw, right, as you look through that. So our conclusion is that we've had a lot of bees abscond and out of that yard. Why? The only reason we can think of is there's the fall sources in that area are so high that they just kept collecting pollen and nectar, and they really packed out the box and didn't allow the queen anywhere to lay. And maybe the 3 absconded early, and then the other 6, because there wasn't any suggestion of any mold in them or anything of that nature. I mean, there wasn't any mite issues. We don't think there was any chemical issues. Let's see, we don't think that there was any disease issues from what we've investigated and sat down talked about. So the only thing that we can think of is they absconded. And so anyway, that's our thought on it. We would love to get your opinion at the bottom. Even though we've been doing this a long time, we don't think that we know it all. And if you have an opinion or an idea, or you've seen this happen before, please comment down below and let us know. And maybe we can get into some good discussion for later on. Maybe we can help other beekeepers, especially the new beekeepers, not go through this. All right, because even for us, it's very discouraging to lose that many bees, especially one full yard. And that was a big honey producing. Every one of those colonies were big honey producers. Moving them there, our thought was, hey, we're going to move them there where there's all these resources, and we're going to have a bigger honey production. And so it did set us back. We can take our other yards, like David said in the video, and we can, get things going. I'm sure we may go and buy some bees. First time we've bought bees in a long time, but we may go buy some bees, and that way we can possibly get them going quickly and get the production back up. But anyways, I won't bore you anymore. I got to get ready for church, and I want to say God bless y'all. Please like and subscribe and follow us, and so that we can continue to bring this content. And again, we're going to bring you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, all right. God bless. See you later.